Welcome back,
Episode
guys
20
and girls, to episode something of Bros with Brains. We are now at a point we don't remember what episode we're up to, so it's probably a good thing, or we're just getting old. But as always, here with Benny Boy from Queensland and Mr. Chris Black, based in Melbourne from North Queensland. He's just got back from a tropical holiday.
We're getting the full bio rundown.
He's back from a tropical holiday.
I'm back from a tropical holiday it was so fucking hot up there.
And it was rampant with COVID and couldn't go to anywhere, couldn't do anything, nothing.
Bro, I actually tested negative when I come back, but
we don't.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere. Yeah. One of my mate's girlfriends caught it. Fucking, she's in isolation.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain they've just let the floodgates go now, and they're just like, see you later.
Yeah, pretty much.
We just call it the C word from now on, so fuck it.
Like there was like three massive New Year's and New Year's Day parties just in Brisbane. And then everyone's like, I need to get a rapid test because I didn't know that it was going to be at this giant collective of people that are all hanging out in the same place, drinking and doing stuff off toilets. And I was like,
oh my God, doing stuff off toilets.
And wait, actually in Brisbane, can you guys actually still buy rapid antigen tests, or are they like out of stock?
They're only just coming out. They're just like,
oh no, they're out of stock everywhere down here. You can't find one.
Yeah. I think the thing at the moment is like everyone I don't know how they didn't anticipate that would be required. And so now all your Instagram stories are like, I need a rapid test. Can someone help me?
And then it's like they're shocked. It's like they're shocked that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got on the other side, you got people on Instagram selling them. They're just like, slide in my DMs if you need a rapid antigen test. It's like, how much are you charging?
It's really just a pregnancy test with like a C on it instead of a P.
Where they are the new worldwide currency.
Yeah. People are going to start providing like positive and negative antigen tests for people.
People were getting hyped up about NFTs and fucking Bitcoin. No,
it's all about rat test.
Yeah.
You think about the abbreviation. You like I'm calling it a rat test?
Yeah, 100%.
It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
You're a fucking rat. Here's your test.
Yeah, pretty much. It's more so the people accepting it. They're posting like,
or are we in fact all the rats?
Well,
we're rats in the trap, and we're just running along. And
in comes conspiracy theory number 2175. We're all rats in the maze, man. Yeah. Okay.
As the government's against us.
As you can tell, this year's going to kick off to a flying start. Yeah.
None of us have technically caught COVID yet, right?
That we know of.
Yeah, that we want to know of.
No. Well, now it's at a point where who cares? It's like you get it. You stay inside for 5 days. If you don't have any symptoms after the 5th day, you could just go out and do what you want. It's like, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
there's an option even anymore. They shut like 80 testing sites yesterday anyway.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, we don't care anymore.
What are you going to do? It's like you want to get a PCR test, you want to take a rap test, you can't anyway.
Yeah, so.
In Queensland, they've got you releasing all these like crap parties and New Year's Eve days and stuff. But at the same time, they're telling everyone it's fine to go out with like COVID and just like, go about life and figure it out when you get tested. But then at the same time, close the testing facilities. So it's like, no one knows. You're letting them amongst the public.
Yeah, because you know why? Because they dick themselves with staffing. The staffing issues. They're short staffed, especially with nurses and stuff. Because
so it's like, what do they expect? It's like, even at the testing sites, right? Even at the testing sites, it's like all these people are working at a place that are literally in the danger zone for COVID.
Dealing with the frontline workers. It's like no shit they're going to
What are they going to do? Of course they're going to catch it. Then what's going to happen? No one's going to be able to man the site.
Oh no, we've got no staff.
Yeah.
We didn't see this coming.
Yeah, fucking morons. Anyway, how is training these days, lads? How's Queensland? How's training in Queensland?
It was good. It was nice. It was pretty hot. What did I do? I mean, we just finished. What did we train yesterday? We trained some hamstrings and glutes. I trained pull the day before that. I suppose I am now, I would say around 12 weeks out from the first show of the season. So
looking nice and tight. Waist is
starting to come in nicely. So I would probably say sitting at around 94.3 this morning, which is going to leave me, I still think I've probably got about another 6 kilos to pull off in the remaining time frame. So still feeling decently good at this point. Probably the best I've felt actually at the 12-week out mark. It's actually quite a nice little change of pace to be able to go on holiday mid-prep. I know, like, obviously traveling and, all the shit with the food and all that sort of stuff is annoying. But at the same time, like, it was really good to just switch off from bodybuilding around a bunch of people that don't care for bodybuilding, family and stuff, and just not think about it for like 2 or 3 weeks. I also still hit my macros, still hit my meals, still got my training sessions in when I could. The only annoying thing about it, and I was telling Scaffy about this yesterday, is like up there, you go to like on public holidays, things are actually shut. you know? So it's like, yes, gyms are 24 hours, but there's no one staffing the gym. So I kind of had to work my training around that. And also with food, it's like Coles is shut on public holidays. It's like, what is that?
Is that not normal in Melbourne?
No, bro.
No, everything's open, bro.
You
Always.
scumbags.
Like,
You fucking
we are
scumbags.
Big Mikey was open. He opened one gym on Christmas Day.
Bro, it's
Mad dog.
big light city down here, brother. It doesn't matter, mate. Rain, hail, or shine, we're open.
To be fair, I'll give Sanctuary. They were open Christmas. They were open New Year's Eve. They weren't open New Year's Day, but they're open Christmas Day. So we got a session in Christmas morning. That was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to train on Christmas. Don't be stupid.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm developing training disorders and fucking obsessive compulsions.
You're allowed to have the time off.
You should do what I say because what I say is the perspective that's right, and you're wrong, and I say that you shouldn't train. Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Make sure you use a booty band, yeah?
And
what about you, lads?
Man, I had 10 days off. That was great. I didn't train. It was fucking fantastic. I actually just
there was no back lat spread show. Photos.
no double buy.
No double buy.
We're disappointed.
No, I actually haven't been posting.
The iconic Scaffy rear double bicep.
Let the team down.
There's no one there to take it because I wasn't there. So.
Exactly right. I'm not. What am I going to do? Go in the posing room by myself and not get assessed.
We're just going to take like 100 while on there, just a different angle, so it looks like.
Oh, I've got a few on there from different. I could have like posted an old one, but
when are you coming, Ben? Actually, what is the date again? Let me pull.
I believe it is the 14th to the 17th. I think it's a Friday to a Monday.
Oh, so that's next week.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Not this weekend, the following.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Chris
is like, I've booked another holiday on the 14th.
Yeah.
I do my days as one day at a time now.
Chris is like, I'm away.
I'm
coming down. You guys are coming up.
Well, actually, I caught COVID. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you come down. We're going to get rapid antigen test the day before you come or the day of. Sorry, bro.
Mate, one gym is going to be packed the days I'm down there. I already told all the like your guys' clients and stuff, and just like, yeah, all the fans, like, when are you guys coming? When? I'm like, 14th. line up one at a time.
It's going to be a line for the hack squat.
Actually, it'll work quite well.
Everyone's going to suddenly in front of us say they do hack squats, so they're all just going to like jump on the hack squat trend.
That's it.
Will you train on Friday? What time do you get in?
I got an early flight, so we definitely should.
All right, we're training Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'm pretty sure I don't go back to like Monday Arvo.
Right.
Monday's just thinking you can do whatever the fuck you want now, running your own business.
Pretty much, right?
Sure. Just how we
set your own schedule.
Yeah, exactly. It's been good. Hey, it's been really good.
How is business going? Good, booming.
Yeah, no, it's good. Some things getting me going that we've had off camera chats about, but we won't fire that engine up again.
But it's fun.
Don't worry, guys. I reworded my website just to make sure that I'm Don't worry about it.
Just a certain people from a certain group that we have never mentioned or spoken about before spoken about before chiming in with their own fucking little shit.
Yeah, but don't worry. I fixed that up and now we're all in line. It's all good. Business.
Here he goes. He's off again.
Yeah,
he's off again. He's off again. Your internet's still fucking up.
Just roll with it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna play with it.
He said something about butt plugs, wasn't it? I think that was I agree.
He was talking about the podcast should be done in a casting room with a casting couch.
Well, at least we'll have a good internet connection.
We'll do that with a live recording, actually.
The annoying part is we can't even switch over to NBN because we just rent this place. So
yeah, it's the building internet that's
it's the building's internet that's screwed. So
that's trash.
Literally until we move, we're stuck with it.
Can you imagine?
And if you motherfuckers think I'm going to be hotspotting my phone.
Look, you're really committed to the cause of this podcast. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm here most weeks.
If you wanted this podcast to truly succeed, you do what needs to be done.
Yeah, whatever it takes, right, babe? Sure thing, Rich.
Yeah. Did you see the reports or the articles coming out about him now from what his ex-wife or I guess ex-wife was saying? He was buying
unless Nick Trigili says it.
He was buying like $250,000 a month worth of steroids and selling them to people and shit.
Really?
Man, that's what she said, right?
I mean, I'm not shocked, but
yeah,
it seems like a lot.
Yeah, imagine buying $250K worth of steroids a month to sell.
You're getting them from the border of Mexico or something.
No, like I said, it was just an article that popped up. I was just like, I'll have a quick breeze and be like, I wonder how much of this is real or true, because you never know with those. It's a Facebook article, so it's like, who fucking knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thought that was pretty funny.
I haven't read.
We are big Rich Piana fans. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? Yeah, who isn't a fan? Like, you can't not be a fan of him.
I just refused to wait in line. Like, I had the choice between at the Arnold's 2018. I think I had the choice between lining up for 2 hours to see him or Steve Cook, or get a photo with Brendan Curry because there was no one in line. So I got a photo.
Dude, I find that so weird, right?
Yeah, because no one knows who Brendan Curry is, man.
Fuck about the top Mr. Olympians, but it's like you'll go and rock up and people are waiting in line like all the way around the door.
Legit, there was that guy who's now a nobody, that Jeff Said, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
That guy.
What happened to him? He just dropped off the face of the planet.
Yeah. He just looked like every other physique, and everyone's like, cool, man, thanks. Like, you're doing the same things as everyone else. Like,
I remember when bodybuilding.com back in the day was like huge. He was like one of the, they used to have like the athlete spotlight segment.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
I read his article over and over and over again. I was like, fuck, I want to be Jeff C.
Yeah. and then I grew up.
And then I grew up into a real bodybuilder.
Well, I think they were always saying as well, Rich Piana was one of the guys who was really good with his his following, really, really good with the crowds. He'd always he'd stop and speak to everyone all the time, and it'd be a genuine conversation. Like, he's interested in what you have to say. Like, if the top bodybuilders aren't doing that, right? Well,
that's the thing.
Like, well, what would he expect? Like, people are going to engage with that.
The RBP was talking about that the other day when they were talking about like influencers versus ambassadors and stuff. And it's like, someone cannot bring any bad publicity to the sport, but like, you're not quite in the running to be the best ambassador.
Is that like, who is the best ambassador for bodybuilding?
And they were all losing their shit.
Yeah.
And
it was like, you shouldn't, like, there's guys who go out of their way, like Ian and Nick and stuff, where they put out content. Like, yes, they don't bring anything bad, but they put out content, they're engaging with their fans, they reply, they stir the pot a bit. Whereas like, your Brendans and stuff kind of just,
he's like the ultimate gentleman almost.
Yeah. They do their job and they compete, but they don't do anything to bring in positive.
And I much prefer, I don't give a fuck. Whatever's bringing traffic to bodybuilding, I think is a positive thing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, with Nick and Ian, like, they're putting their personalities out there, which I actually resonate with. Like, I still don't think we've seen the real Brandon Curry. And
no, you don't see what's behind closed doors.
It's just a fake persona. Whereas, like, I think with Ian, what you see is what you get. With Nick's what you see, what you get.
Yeah.
Which is what I really love about watching both of those guys.
Yeah, because it's hard to be fake and show so much of yourself like they do. Like, there's no way Nick puts on that docile, smart ass personality.
Yeah.
That jersey.
Hey, I'm fucking walking here.
It's even more funny because you're wearing a football jersey as well. It's just like perfect.
Do you actually follow NFL?
Get the fuck out of here.
Do you follow it at all?
NFL, not even slightly. I was like, I watch Kicks on Fire and highlight Bleacher Reports and stuff like on Instagram. Like, I love watching highlight plays, but I don't follow specifically.
Yeah. Fair enough. What did you want to talk about today, Ben?
We have some sort of topic.
Yeah, I can't remember. We have too many fucking topics to go through this.
Well, if it comes back to me, like, no.
Well, because you're the one that had it, and I was just like, cool. What was it?
Well, we had.
Oh, hold on. Let me go. I can go through the chat.
I did have a topic that we could build on, actually.
Yeah.
And it was.
So this will come out in 3 years' time. By the time
maybe we talk about the use of bands in. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The use of bands in terms of like manipulating resistance profiles, strength profiles, and I suppose, a lot of the old school bodybuilders will just say things like, oh, you don't need that shit. You can build muscle with just a fucking dumbbell. Like, you don't need to fucking, change resistance profiles and all that sort of stuff. So what do we think about that sort of mentality?
I just really want to be a smart ass, but like, it's almost like someone did a podcast on it. But anyway.
Well, someone recently just did a dumbass fucking post about it on their Instagram.
Heaps of people. Actually, it's even more funny. Is one of my clients who's actually will probably listen to this podcast because she listens to them all. Messaged me today. Actually, no, she posted on her story because I gave her a new program, and we've never done glute drive, hip, whatever you call it, the machine that we use. What's it called? Glute drive, hip drive,
glute drive. Yeah,
that one. I'm just used to hip thrust, but whatever, the machine. And she's doing it with a band on, and I sort of replied, I'm like, don't use a band. And she's like, I just see everyone else doing it. So that's why I thought I'd try it. And I'm like, if it's not in your notes, don't do it. Like, there's a reason why I don't give it to you. She's like, oh, but then why does everyone else do it? I'm like, for the exact same reason you just said, because everyone else does it. So, monkey see, monkey do. It's like, you're going to inhibit hip extension by using a band. So you kind of want full hip extension and maximal output or maximal force through your glutes when it comes to hip extension to build said glutes. Kind of makes more sense, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just typically tend to use bands for the fuck of it. So like someone's just seen that it's cool. So now everyone's reverse banding a hack squat or, reverse banding different things. But I definitely think they do have like utility in certain situations. So for example, like something that we were doing, we often will reverse band the hack squat. And I think it's kind of twofold. One is that obviously, for me, I have quite brittle knees out of that bottom position. So, majority of the load that I would need to get a really good stimulus through, I suppose that lengthened position into the shortened position of the quad at the top. Especially when I'm at the bottom, like if I hang out there too long, I can handle more load towards that mid to end range of the range of motion as opposed to right at the bottom, where we're kind of just, I suppose, matching that resistance profile and strength profile. But I suppose a better example of it for the actual utility, I think for chest development for me, where it had been a bit of a game changer over the last like 6 months to a year would be like reverse banding a Smith machine bench press with a daisy chain. Yeah. So basically, if we're reverse banding a Smith machine, it's as simple as the main reason that we're doing it is because it deloads the lengthened position where the pec is weakest out of the bottom of a range of motion of the movement. So if we're obviously taking a majority of the load off, not a majority of the load, like you don't want to take it all off, maybe 15 to 20% of loading at that end range, just takes a little bit of stress off the shoulders and allows me to kind of, I suppose, match the profile of the pec better with the actual machine that we're using. So I suppose, where a lot of the older school bodybuilders will say, fuck that, you don't need that shit. Like you can literally just, do dumbbells. Like, bro, I've flat dumbbell pressed 60, 70 kilo dumbbells for reps. And guess what it did for my chest? Absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So it's again, for what individual's biomechanics and what situation, circumstances are we talking here? So I think the old notion of just doing something like that and just getting strong at it is not always the answer. We need to find better movements that actually suit individuals' biomechanics.
When we dig into that, let's say we use the incline Smith as the example. With the load, where is the load causing adaptation? And, at what point are we receiving stimulus versus fatigue, right? So it's like if that load with gravity on the way down in the eccentric is creating the most fatigue, that's where we create the most fatigue. Why wouldn't we want to limit that as much as possible to then get a maximal contraction and generate maximal force to then recruit as many muscle fibers to build them on the next rep where we fatigue them down again? So it's like there's a purpose for it, and the deeper you dig, the more sense it makes. It's kind of like, anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like understanding that there should be a method to the madness, not just jumping into madness for madness sake, but provided you're applying the right tool for the job, it makes sense. Like when I started reverse banding the hack squat, it wasn't because I was trying to make hack squats easier. It was because I got a better contraction out of the bottom and I could drive more force, but also I was alleviating the excess buildup and pressure through the load through my knees because my knee was coming back from being injured. I don't want to turn off my intensity and not train, but I also know that I need to work within the parameters of my limitations, which is like, okay, I'm going to load my knee here a little bit. I want to get maximal flexion of my knee and my quad, but I don't want to stimulate or overload the knee so it starts to fatigue and then hurts and just accumulates a further injury. So reverse banding the hack squat lets me get as deep as I need to, not get stuck in the bottom, but also it just alleviates that little bit of extra pressure off the knees so that I'm getting full flexion and getting full contraction and actually getting the recruitment that I want without just fucking dying on the ass and I can't do this exercise again. So that whole notion that you don't fucking need that, just grind it out and tough it out and be a hard ass and grunt and cuss. Like you can still grunt and cuss with intensity, but also just like,
what's also funny about that? It's like the same people that will say that sort of shit are the same ones that are injured in 5 years. They've got fuck shoulders, fuck knees, fuck lower backs, and it's the same story and they can't train anymore.
They also don't take kilos. Yeah. Why can't you see the long game? Like, are you in bodybuilding for the simple fact you get to post cool strength videos? or like the longevity of your body in this sport and the lifestyle that you're living. Because if it's a lifestyle and the longevity of the sport, you would look at what the overall accumulation risks are and the fatigue accumulation and what's going to happen to your joints over time if you aren't smart about it, which is your Branch Warren styles that have like fucked every joint possible you can think of. Yeah, they got great physiques, not taking that away from them, but he could have trained just as hard with a slight tweak or like being a bit smarter about certain things, and loads of his joints wouldn't be bad. Fucking, you wouldn't have as bad back, you wouldn't have bad quads, bad knees, and bad elbows. So like, yeah, it's great that you can say, hey, I can still do this and like fucking whatever. But yeah, you're not really looking at the long game. Then if we can alleviate those issues, why not do it?
Yeah. The other thing that you'll hear on the other side, so that will be, well, why don't you just simply change up the exercise to, potentially better facilitate adaptation? And it's kind of like, you know what, it's a fair question. It's kind of like, yeah, like I agree. It is a good question to ask. Sometimes you're just stuck with what you got, depending on the gym that you're in, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just simply making better use of the equipment in the gym that you're in, because not all equipment's created equal and not all gyms are equal. And it's unfortunate, it'd be awesome if every gym was the same and, had the best equipment with the best resistance profiles and all that sort of stuff, but it's just not the case.
So what people forget is like machines are literally created for the average person.
Yeah,
like that is literally
they are created by average people too.
Yeah, for average
majority
people,
because the majority of the machines that you get are fucking horrible, and there's not many machines that are really, really good. And then the thing is, it's funny. I remember having this conversation with a mate of mine, Jace from STC Fit, because he's been bodybuilding for ages, and he'll always go to different gyms for different sessions, and you see it all the time. Pros go to different gyms.
Yeah,
and I'm just sitting there like I remember when I was just also doing powerlifting. Obviously, I'm just like, man, why? Like, I feel like it's just a lot of effort, like to travel all around to get to. And he's like, no. He goes, when you do this stuff, you'll understand. And now I'm like, no, I get it. I get it. Like I would train at home purely for my back sessions. I've got a VR3 Eagle row and I've got VR3 row and I've got a Nautilus lat pull down. You will not find those two pieces of machinery in the same gym.
Yeah.
Give me a gym in Victoria that has both of those. Like you'd be lucky to have, one hand's worth of gyms. Like they're the best pieces for back. I'm kind of like, well, I got nowhere else to go. I'm just going to go to my garage and train for my back, because that's the best piece of equipment I can use. Right. It's like, I get it. Like traveling to different gyms.
Also, let's say you're modifying the Smith machine incline press with reverse banding and you daisy chain it. It's also possible that, like, let's say you're a nighttime trainer or like you go to 24/7 gym, you still want to be able to progressively overload and train harder and heavier, hit that target.
Safely. Yeah.
It's safely. Like it gives you a way of getting out of the hole without sticking and risking injury or like you're fucking choking yourself, because you can just get that little bit of extra help off your chest, put it under, and maybe just you fucking fall out of the machine. But you can do that with any machine. Then you can do it with like reverse banding your hack squats, reverse banding something else, reverse banding your fucking incline benches. You can do it on like things like your bicep curls and shit like that. But it's also another method of safety that if you're training by yourself, you can still get intensity out without having to compromise and risk injury.
Yeah, that just allows you to overload. That's really all it does. It allows you to overload in a safer manner. Let's be real.
By all means, but I mean, at the same token, don't just throw a fucking a neat looking trick into your program for no reason.
You don't want to be using it just for the fuck of it. You legitimately have a good understanding of biomechanics and how your structure fits before you start toying around with reverse banding stuff. Because we're talking in terms of like, I suppose, intermediate to advanced hypertrophy concepts, like the average beginner, like they're just going to get a lot out of, just basically learning how to perform the fundamentals well.
Yeah, you could jump on just an incline barbell or an incline dumbbell or an incline Smith without having to reverse band.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. Like in my example, like I got fucking strong on a flat dumbbell first. I got as strong as 7 kilo, 7 reps. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
You still hear me now?
Yeah.
So like I said, I got as strong as, 60, 65 kilos for, 6 to 8 reps, but it did nothing for my chest development. Nada, So, and obviously a majority of that load was being dispersed through my triceps and, through my shoulders. So, in order for me to continue to make progress and actually develop my chest, I needed to get smarter with my exercise selection in order to do so. Yeah. So something to keep in mind there, like that bro bodybuilder in the gym that's telling you not to worry about it. And if you're super into biomechanics and actually want to learn about, muscle function and anatomy, don't listen to them. Just don't. Like,
we offer
furthering
mentorships.
education.
Just DM us. Just DM us. We offer mentorships. We'll charge you and we'll just look after you and we'll guide you.
And you'll actually learn a thing or two, as opposed to just doing shit that's just going to get you fucking injured.
Follow us on Instagram.
Well, that was like one of my clients. That's who I was seeing today. Is that like I haven't seen them train in person before. I've seen videos and stuff. And the previous coach that had just simply let them go and not get the fundamentals right. Like that she was doing squats. She attacked the bar great, respected the weight from warm up through like her execution in terms of like how I set myself, how I set my scap, how I get under the load, all great. But it was her execution through her, like she's had longer femurs and didn't quite get a good flexion and depth with her hips to get deep enough. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, there's no point loading this up. Me and Scaffy were talking about, went back and forward and like, cool, let's try this. Got her to get rid of the bar entirely, get some heel elevation and get under the actual squat pattern properly that's suitable to her, like to her anatomy and her physique. And she has a fucking perfect squat. It was just under the squat. She had never been showed how to deeply hit it properly and without being slightly scared that, something might go wrong. And so she was stopping like mid-range, then trying to use her glutes and her hips to drive her back up and get like an extension squat. And I was like, well, there's no point risking injury here when we can strip all that back, get to the fundamentals of your anatomy and what it actually suits it, get you down and then be like, cool, now let's build up this. And when we get stronger at this and you're correct in that position, we'll look at getting back to the squats if you need to squat. But it was just like that. If you just listen to the bros who are like, you don't need this shit or like these accessories or whatever, and you just
that barbell on your back.
Yeah. Just like get under and grind it out.
Ass to grass, baby.
Yeah. And I was like, cool. What if she can't get ass to grass under this, like the way she sets up for this, as opposed to elevate the heels, get her further knee flexion, get a deeper hit in the squat and the quad. She's like, I've never felt my quads like this in my life.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. I've got actually like my official mentoring has actually started. So I've got a few coaches and they'll always ask me questions about clients and stuff like that, which is cool, and a lot of them will always ask me the same question. It is usually related to the squat. And they're like, okay, can you just have a look at my client's squat and blah, blah, blah. She's feeling or he's feeling pain here, here, and here. I'm like, cool. What's your client's goal? Do they need to squat?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have them squatting? Like, can you justify that answer? Because if the client asks you and you can't justify it, you're going to lose a client. So, do these people need to do these movements, or can we just simply move them off and progress them to that movement when the time is appropriate? If the client's like, I'm powerlifting, it's like, okay, well, yeah, fuck, we need a squat. Like, there's no question. But if the client's like, I just want bigger quads. Okay, you don't need to squat. We can do other things. So it's like, pick your poison and use the right exercise for the right time.
Which is kind of like almost like we talk about that and treating each client individually all the time. Right?
Literally, I wrote, I think, 25 pages on it today. So for writing content.
It really was hear that crackle. It sounds like someone's like mic's rubbing against there. There we go.
Is that you, Scaff?
It's probably in my beard.
There we go. Perfect. There we go.
Old no internet over here, giving all the fucking.
I know. No internet can.
Speaker quality.
Fuck you guys.
It was like before we started. It's like, where am I centered in my camera? It's just like, can you see yourself on the screen? That's where you are.
Bro, I've literally been in the sticks for the last 2 weeks. So
yeah. What is a camera?
Just coming back to technology. I don't even know what a camera is right now.
Has North Korea invaded yet? What's an NFT?
Yeah. Hey man, it's like I keep saying, like we were saying off camera, like NFTs, we joke about them, but it looks like they're going to be something at some point. We should probably be like, Bros with Brains NFT coming soon.
Yeah.
Everyone jump on board. What do you get?
You have to own an NFT to get exclusive access to our training.
Nothing, but we give us plenty of points.
Yeah, exactly. You get nothing. We get funded, and that's it.
It's literally just digital versions of our avatars from the fucking Instagram posts.
Yeah, pretty much. Just doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
We'll put Ben in a football jersey.
Or we can option off Ben's jersey with him signing it.
Yeah, true. A digital signature.
Hey, you know what I've actually got to I have to humbly recognize to people is that how cool it is that people are, what's the word? Mentioning us for advice on things or being commented in something that we've said on the pod. Like you might see an Instagram post on something and they're tagging us in it to talk a bit of shit about it, or sending us a recommendation of something they think that we should do. It's fucking humbling and cool that something that started off so small and just us talking shit
is that now smile off your face.
People around the country. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Ben's just enjoying the fact that he's famous.
Ben's enjoying being very famous. How does it feel to be famous, Benjamin?
Well, look, I just take it one day at a time. It is what it is.
And cancelled. Nah.
Oh yeah, one autograph at a time.
I'm starting to get like carpal tunnel on my wrist. It's just I'm over it.
Can't even go into String Sanctuary without everyone knowing your name.
You know what they say, Ben? If you're the biggest guy in the gym, you need to move to a new gym. Yeah.
That's why I don't move gyms very often. I don't get big.
Don't come to one gym. No one's ever going to be bigger than Mike.
The only thing that's going to happen in that gym is my ego is going to get checked.
100% when we throw you on a hack squat with 10 plates aside.
Yeah, that'll be my knees getting checked, not my ego.
Don't worry. I got brittle knees too, Ben. Don't worry.
But also, we won't reverse ban those because that's bad.
Yeah. We're going to just normal ban them because extra tension.
No. We'll just, we won't ban them, but we'll put knee wraps on.
No, I definitely know what you're talking about.
Because functional. So I think the topic you did want to talk about was the New Year's. Oh, not so much not so much the New Year's resolutions, but more so if you manage to survive the year, like that's good enough.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of run off the back of what the little tangent me and Benny Scott got talking about there in the last episode at the back end, but. This idea that the C word's been going on now for 2 years and it's pushing 2.5.
Yes.
Like we're going to be well into this year before it's like, all right, the world's open back up, shit's normal. Here's a post life, get back to it. It's gonna be like at least 2.5 years. If you are still posting about you got through this year, you're a trooper because like
how hard is it?
2021 was so hard, man. Like you grinded.
What did I say to you in the
done.
group chat? What did I say? It's almost like they're running up the shores of Gallipoli to say.
Yeah. Before we do go into this, obviously, context. This is for those that don't have mental health issues, that don't, not those that are on,
As a psych student, I think that should be like without saying. But
just in case.
We have to say it.
Fuck them too.
It's going back to North Queensland.
And Ben lost his degree.
Yeah, pretty much. And everyone's cancelled and we're going to get shot. No, obviously, mental health issues aside, deep depression, all that sort of stuff. We're not talking about that. Yes. We're talking about there
is a very clear distinction between having mental inhibitions and limitations that are preventing you from doing something.
Yes.
And you simply looking for a scapegoat.
Yes. If you are in your own way, this is what we're talking about.
Yes. If your Instagram is surrounded by nothing but people saying like peace and love, this year was tough, so you just need to find yourself again, man, and get back.
Well, that's why you thought it was an excuse to get Uber Eats every day for the last fucking year.
Yeah. To have that post mentality.
You earned it. You made it through another day of lockdown.
This reminds me of the dieting episode that we did.
But it's so true though, because like it's not. It's
man,
not
you
the
two
first
guys
6
are so
months.
much more tolerable than me. I'm just like, man, fuck these pussies.
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's it's such a fucking victim mentality that we're into this stage of the fucking spicy cough, and you are still seeing people talk about, nah, man, we just got to take it one day at a time, man, and overcome this shit. Like, what have you been doing? What do you mean?
Like it's almost like most people don't have a roof over their head, running water, food in the fridge, and the government's paying.
And I guess the other side is, some people, depending on where you're located and all that sort of stuff, you've copped some real shit. Like, whereas like in New South Wales, they copped mad bushfires last year or whatever it was the year before, and then they copped floods. You know what? You got through the year. You've got a roof over your head, and you got some money in your pocket.
You hopefully have a roof over your head.
Yeah, like fucking.
Well, no. You've
earned that.
That was 2020. Let's clear that up. That was
that was the fire, and then we just had the floods.
Did New South Wales have floods?
Yeah, man. Dude, they were over their house.
Can you get up with current affairs?
Jesus, bro.
Right.
You're not in rural
That's on me. My bad.
Like, so it's the same, and it's the same coastline. They copped it, and Chris is off. Right. He's gone. Like, if you're in that selected area, then this isn't at you either, right? Like you've been through some.
This is why I share things on like Stoic philosophies and Stoicism because their focus and premise is on focusing on what you can control and looking at what you are overall in charge of, not putting emotion to things you have no control.
So basically just looking at WA. If you're in WA and you're complaining, shut the fuck up.
But literally, like you're not responsible, completely understandable. You are not responsible for floods, the government's decisions, not responsible for any of that shit. But you are absolutely responsible for anything you do in terms of like when the gyms got open, when you lost your job or something like that. What did you do to upskill? What did you do to read books? And like it doesn't even have to be like going to a course. Were you reading books during lockdowns, or were you just watching Netflix? Were you playing Sony, or were you actually upskilling, listening to podcasts and like educating yourself further so that when things opened up or got back to normal, or you could do something, you had a better foot to stand on than when you went in? Because that's the difference between someone who has mental handicaps or actual psychological limitations like fucking clinical depressions or chemically imbalanced depressions, anxieties, phobias, stresses, like death in a family, like all that shit. Those are logical exemptions to the conversation we're having right now. But the people I saw posting this shit are very healthy, functioning people and are very, very easily free to move around the world, go about their shit, do their business. They've had no issues for the last, Queensland had one lockdown for 2 weeks. Like you've had 12 months of straight the world being open, and you are still choosing to share shit like, you know what, man, if you got through 2020, it was a tough trot. Good job. 2021 did the same thing. You got through it. It's like, how many years are you going to do this for? Like, are you really waiting for the world to go back to normal for you to be like, now I'm going to get after it?
Well, it's because even prior to that, they would be still doing the same thing.
Yeah, like I said,
there wouldn't have been an excuse or anything to blame.
Yeah, it's the dieting one. It's like, I've dieted for 2 weeks. Do I get a free meal?
We're an untracked cheat meal, man. It's Christmas. Can I eat whatever I want?
As opposed to every other week of the year.
I could have started on that again.
That's the best.
Round two, ding ding.
Your rant on that one was the bomb. Just sit back and relax. I'll go get my popcorn.
I think we just need to have like a rants and review. Like, people do like year in review. We just need to have like a rants and review episode.
We'll pay someone, just go through every single episode and cut all the rants and see which one gets the best.
Yes.
So if anyone's listening and wants to,
for the listeners, actually,
if anyone's listening and wants to do that, just let me know. I mean,
follow our Bros with Brain Instagram page.
Yeah, we've been very active on that.
We got to push that. Actually, how many followers do we have?
Gaffy told us that we haven't got a single. We haven't posted nothing on there, but we've got
not one single post on there yet. We have, I'll tell you if it loads, 48 followers.
Go and follow us on. What's the handle?
Bros underscore with underscore brains.
Cool. Well, give us a follow.
It's got our photo on there. We've got followers galore coming through. So, we'll start putting some shit on there. We'll try and get some clips edited and whatnot.
I got to be honest, I haven't actually even logged into it yet, but I will.
No, I logged into it and I got to actually try and remember what the logins were because I don't know if I changed them.
Scaps hacked himself and changed it.
Man, I don't know. I felt sorry for James that created it, and I'm like, I think I tried to change it so that it was just under my name, so he doesn't have to worry about it. Like, we appreciate it. What people probably don't know is one of the listeners, James, actually created that for us because we kept saying we were going to create it and we never did. So one of the listeners has gone.
Next thing like one of the listeners is going to create us an NFT just because we've talked about it. We should do it.
Yeah, if we keep talking about it enough, it might happen.
Hopefully, someone will just do it for us. That's the idea of it.
It's like
right?
we'll create.
Isn't that the whole point of this podcast?
We'll create $1 million. Let's see if someone can give us $1 million.
I'll create friends.
Yeah,
can I have some?
You did. That's why we're here.
That's why we have an Instagram page.
But like Chris, obviously we're all of the same, I guess, direction of that rant, but I just found it as a very, very weak-minded position from, I don't know, like it's just been this weird push lately to just validate laziness. And like, you don't have to do large things. You don't have to do monstrous fucking tasks. Like I didn't build matter overnight. Scaffy didn't build fucking elite strength overnight. Chrissy isn't doing fucking strength lab stuff overnight. These are things that we've put time and hours and what time we had available into it to get to the point where we can be at it. Like we had COVID, yes, and like Queensland had an easier COVID than everyone else. I'll give us that. But there was periods where we had gym lockdowns or like customers weren't coming through the doors when I was working at NW. So I was using lunch breaks to write content for Matter, to create posts and content for Matter, to put up shit for the website, write articles, blogs. Like there's a half hour here, there's 2 hours there, there's 1 hour there. You don't have to do massive things in one go. Just start doing something instead of sitting back and like, not even being apologetic, victimizing yourself because shit's been hard and you're stuck where you are. Cool. What does that get you? What do you get from doing that versus if you just started doing something now instead?
man, you can really see the difference between the people that actually, put actions into place. Like when I was younger and I was still at uni and I first started prepping people and coaching people online, I was still working 30 hours a week and studying full time. I was just doing it in my spare time because I thought it was fun and I wanted to do it.
We're working at RBT. We're working full-time RBT while doing online coaching. Like I was working.
And then I started doing that after.
Yeah, I was working 6 a.m. morning shifts and then finishing at 10:30. Then I'd be lucky to train and then back to work for my own business back at 4.
And people like that. How many times did I hear you complain?
Yeah,
Not a single time.
From 4 till 8, we'll get back. By the time you eat dinner, work from like 9 till 11 and get up at fucking 5 the next day and you do it again. Like
again and again
until you get to a point where now I can turn around and just be like, you know what, guys, I'm going to take today off.
And like we're talking about, like that builds resilience. Like I think Ben was harping on about resilience a lot in the last couple of podcasts, and that builds resilience. If you don't have that, then you just fucking crumble when something is like, I wouldn't say as small as COVID because it is a relatively big thing. It's been a decently long time frame now, but still,
you got to earn it as well, right?
Yeah,
you build it, but you earn it.
You can be doing still.
Were you mentally resilient and prepared before COVID hit to be responsive to COVID?
Yeah,
that's like the key question there is like, what were you doing to better yourself even before COVID happened? Like it's one thing to do it during the fact, but what were you doing preemptively that was getting you prepared for?
So in saying that, having COVID be the kick up the butt for you to get into that is not necessarily the worst thing in the world either, right?
No,
it's like,
absolutely not.
If that was your motivating factor, like, cool, that's good for you. Like, at least you're now, pushing in the right direction, but, don't sit back and be complacent. Like, it's been a while now that COVID's been around and been affecting us, and it's going to be affecting us for, I'm assuming, years to come. That's what I'm planning for. It's like, I'll always plan worst case scenario. So, on my worst week or my worst month, this is how much I'm going to make. This is what it's going to be. This is how I'm going to handle it. And that's fine.
It's very, I guess, pessimistic way of looking at it, but a good saying that I always heard was hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
Exactly.
So you live in the idea that this would be great if this happened, but I know that I can expect the bare minimum that this is possible.
Yeah.
And right now we know that COVID can and will happen, and lockdowns is still possible, and like random shit can still come up. So be prepared for that to be the case. And then you're being proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah. Well, then,
man, if this contest prep gets cancelled, it'll be the third one that's been cancelled. And you know what? If it gets cancelled,
I'll keep training.
There'll be another one. I'll just keep training.
Exactly. And we're just going to do a private Bros with Brains photo shoot for Ben.
And I'll just
Chris,
flex for you.
And we're just going to make Ben and Chris flex off, and then we can put it to the people who has the best body.
It'll just be a fucking podcast of us in their underwear.
Who's got the best body part? After that podcast, when we're trying to work out who would look better.
Ben, is that a nut? Nope.
It's like, sorry, Ben, you've got 10, 12 days to do protein modified fast.
As lean as you can.
You're going to come in as lean as you can. We'll send you some clenbuterol and we'll just get you going.
Yeah, I'm real busy for Melbourne suddenly.
I've got COVID. I can't make it.
Yeah, I've got the spicy cough. That's a no for me, dog.
It's like, you're a lie. You can't get rapid antigen tests.
Can't get it if the test doesn't prove it.
Yeah, if you can, and if you can get them, send them down here. Yeah, we need them.
Suddenly they're worth 1,000% increase in cost price.
Yeah, Matter Athletic are now selling.
Yeah, that's my new business. That's my MVP.
Man, you could make a fortune, man, if you were stockpiling them and just hoarding them.
Yeah,
make a fucking fortune. Like I said, never mind NFTs.
Yeah,
right.
Toilet paper from the start of COVID.
Yeah, it's fucked, man. Anyway, should we move into some questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Feel like we've got that off our chest.
All right, let's have some fun ones here. So we've got a few.
I'm no doubt sure someone's going to come in and say, "You didn't understand my situation. You didn't understand it."
Oh, someone's definitely going to say that. But if you don't DM me because I don't give a fuck. DM the other.
To be honest,
don't DM me.
You're going to get a very real response from any of us if you put yourself in that position.
You know what you'll get from me? A double tap like on the message. Delete.
You'll know that you've read it and then block.
I'm usually more compassionate. I'm just I'm getting too close to
Man, speaking of like pushing your mind, like pushing the ultimate and like having resilience. During COVID, one of my new clients is pushing to join special forces. That's what she wants to like. That's what she wants to get ahead.
Yeah, that's beastly. I just respect the hell out of that.
Fucking boss is shit. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm like, I will push your physique as hard as I possibly can in terms of performance. Like we're not worried about aesthetics. We're worried about pushing you for endurance, like fatigue, deprivations, deficiencies. Like your body is going to be tortured. So we'll get that ready. That means we're also got to work on your head and your mind, how you journal, how you talk, how you think. And she's like, yep, I'm all for it.
And my girlfriend's younger brother literally just made it through the Australian equivalent of a Navy SEAL. So he's going to be going down that route. I don't know what it's called, but that's the Australian equivalent of a Navy SEAL. So that's pretty cool. He did that during COVID. So what a fucking beast.
Yeah, like that's some cool shit. Like one of my mates that used to work at NW with me, he went and joined officer training at whatever Australia is. It's like West Point for Australia. I can't remember what it's called.
Is it Duntroon? I don't know.
Duntroon, yeah. You see the ads
on
for
TV.
Yeah, he did that. He went just as COVID was hitting. They had to do 5 months of field deployment because he wasn't allowed back in because they locked the base down. And they were like, oh, well, your troops are stationed outside. They're not infected. They're in field. They can't get sick. So let's keep them out there. 5 months on field rations, fucking damp sleeping and no fresh clothes except for whatever logistically got sent out to them. But it was like steam cleaned and stuff. And he still came out and was like, yep, now I'm an officer in the fucking army doing my shit. I was like, cool, that's sick. You literally put up with 5 months
of field training. Yeah,
that's resilience. These are the examples of people that, yes, something shit happened. They worked on or around it and came out of it better.
Fair.
You're a product of your circumstances.
This is also very true. Do we want to start with serious or fun?
Let's go fun.
Let's go fun.
I always like to start with something fun.
So.
Anal.
Fisting.
What's the dumbest or wrong way you've seen someone use a piece of equipment in the gym?
Oh,
I actually got sent a video literally 2 days ago from a client in New South. Thankfully, the person who created the video was making a joke. So thank fuck. But they were doing a shoulder press or like a Viking press in the Cybex hack squat.
I've actually seen a few. I've seen people do that.
If I was going in and I said to him, I'm like, dude, if you're going in to use the Cybex hack and someone's genuinely doing that as an exercise,
you kick them the fuck off.
You get out. Get the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like the gym etiquette goes out the door. Get the fuck out. Like, no.
Yeah. You stop playing nice at that point, especially if you're short on time. Get the fuck.
Actually,
Anyway.
One thing that I saw a few years ago was someone doing, so it was like a linear shoulder press like this, like a pin-loaded one, kind of like what you're, I think what we were referring to there before, pin-loaded machine. And they're literally, let's just say I got my bottle here, right? This is them sitting down.
This is the budget we had, by the way.
They went upside down and they were doing like a leg press.
They're doing a leg press.
No.
I did not. They're doing like a vertical leg press on this shoulder press machine.
I mean, that's flexible, I guess. Like, kudos.
It's like for me, it's not so much seeing people do the wrong things. It's kind of just like looking at it and like, why? You know, like people that use the end of a leg curl, like a lying leg curl to do glute bridges.
Oh, actually, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Like, I get it. It can work. I get it. Go get a fucking barbell and go to a fucking glute bridge.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I need that leg curl.
Yeah. Like, go get a pad or go get what we do when we do them. Grab like a yoga mat and roll it and stick it on your hips. Go. Like, come on. Like, fucking really.
Well, actually, one thing that still to this day pisses me the absolute fuck off, and it is girls walking on the stairs sideways.
Damn it! I was going to say that.
I haven't seen. Because we've been training at one gym. I haven't seen it.
Man,
if someone did it at one gym, I'd probably just be like, get out.
Mike
you just hear Mike just stomping towards them. Out you go.
Yeah, that's one thing that really grinds my gears.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that for a while, so I can't comment on that one.
I think it's been ripe in worlds. I've seen it when I've gone to because there's so many in Brisbane now. Like I've just gone to different ones. You can tell someone's in prep or they're doing something, and whatever the coach they've got is just like, yeah, we're going to do this. And it's like, so what are you doing this for? I'm just really trying to tone and shape my glutes before I get to stage. Okay, get the fuck off.
I'm in the toning phase.
Pack up. Yeah, I'm in the toning phase. It's like, so how do you periodize for the toning phase? Well, we just
gotta go high reps and just feel the band.
With a band.
Yeah. Do you track the rep range? No, it's just a feel. Okay. Okey-doke.
I like to do like 30 to 50 reps. Okay.
That's the tone range, right?
And that's 4 sets. Would you rather 50,000?
4 sets of junk volume.
Would you rather $50,000 in cash or $500,000 in loose change, but you can't exchange it?
Oh, the 500,000.
Yeah, I'm taking the loose change every day of the week.
You can't exchange it. But I can put
I don't care. I got resilience. I'll count that shit. I don't give a fuck.
He's gonna go pay
someone.
He's gonna buy
$1,000 a coin. He's gonna count the coin.
He's gonna buy a car and just give like a bag of coins.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's there. It's got the dollar sign on there and how much.
Yeah.
These are the bags. Here you go.
I'll count it myself, bro. I don't give a fuck.
$500K, like that's a lot.
Can you imagine sitting there counting $500,000 in coins though? Like just
I
imagine.
wouldn't count it all at once though. I'd probably count like
You'd have to.
1,000 at a time.
Yeah, like you'd have to break that shit up. Like that'd be taking ages.
You have to find you'd systemize it. Like, okay, so this stack, when these stacks are this high, I know that it's $1,000. Cool.
Yeah, then you just coin them up.
Yeah,
imagine
this stack is 10,000.
Yeah, but just to throw a spanner in there, it says loose change. So imagine if that's 10 cent coins,
What if it's literally, what if it's all 5 cents?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Imagine if it's that like. The principle still works. You can stack the coins, but you then imagine having all these different like fucking piles of coins, towers of coins.
I think it'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool to see. Like it'd really work well for like OCD.
And then
when I got my car accident payout, I was given a check.
He's got it in coins.
It's all in coins.
No, I honestly contemplated withdrawing that money to see what it looked like, just to put it back in the bank. So I submitted the check, and it was like the most scary day of my life because I'm walking down fucking the main street of Wickham Terrace on the Valley, which is like not a place to walk down with a lot of money.
Did you do it at the ATM or did you go inside?
No, I had to go inside to the bank. I had to sign it over.
Man, I'm always sketchy. You know that they got the machine at Commonwealth Bank now sometimes where it's like you put it through. I was definitely
not trusting that.
Yeah, for me, it's like I sold some gym equipment that I've got in my garage, right? And it's only a couple of grand, but it's in cash. And it's kind of like you're walking around and you're like, I don't want to put this in the machine, but then also if you go to the person, like they can flag it if it's if they think you're lying or if it's not for a valid reason or whatever it is. So it's kind of like, it's like $5,000 here, like here's cash. And it's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a personal trainer. I'm a coach. And they'll look at me.
Flag.
I'm just like, I just sold some gym equipment because, COVID and everything opened up. And they're just like, oh, yeah, you look like you work out. And I'm like, oh, thanks. You're the real MVP. And then I walk out and I'm like, Dix, it's drug money. No, I'm kidding.
It's federal police are waiting for him right outside. She's just pressing the button under the counter.
Yeah, just
feds.
Is cardio post weightlifting session a good idea?
I think it depends on the intensity of the cardio.
I was going to say it depends on the cardio.
And also, if you need to make up some steps, some low intensity steady state, if it's the only time that you can get it done, then cool.
This is how you know he's in prep. This is how you know you're in prep. You had no idea when I just said cardio.
I haven't done any cardio. So.
Ben, do you get what I'm saying when I say cardio?
Yes.
Okay. Chris, eat some food. Sex, Chris. Sex.
When a boy Chris. Loves a girl.
Sex.
Tell me what happens.
And boy loves boy, girl loves girl.
Boy and the boy.
Them love them. They love they. Like those that don't identify love. Those that don't identify. All of it.
We call it space docking.
Anyway, moving along.
Anyway.
Why isn't there more pro Australian bodybuilders?
Okay, I'll answer this one.
Go on. Chris is like, let's do this.
I'll answer this one. Mainly because there's literally one chance or two chances per year to turn pro. Mm-hmm. And also if you to like qualify for the Olympia and actually make a living out of bodybuilding, you need sponsors. And you also need shows that are close in order to regularly compete. If you've literally there's not a single pro show in Australia for men's open bodybuilding now that the Arnold Classic is non-existent. So you either have to fly to, I believe it's like Thailand or Bali or something, or over to New Zealand. That's your only chance to qualify for the Olympia. And that's if you win. If you want to qualify on points, you need to do multiple shows. So the reason that there's not more men's pro bodybuilders, usually someone will just turn pro and then that's probably the last you'll ever hear of them. Because also if you were to fly overseas and compete, down this route, utilizing, extra special supplements, etc. You need to have contacts in the United States. You need to be able to have places to go. So it's this very expensive endeavor for a very, very little return in terms of like other sports that you can actually make money in. If you're doing this, you're not doing it for money. So basically answers the question, I feel. Thank you.
Anything to add, Benjamin?
Yeah, I think the other major factor too is the quality of what we have here in terms of not over-counter supplements. There's a very huge difference in terms of legalities, qualities amongst quality, and
even genetic pool.
Yeah.
Well, there's just more people overseas in here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. There's more people in
Yeah.
America. There's more chances to do shows. There's more places that you can compete in order to get your qualifications. And even like the lower tier shows, there's still places you can do. Like some guys can win 3 or 4 shows in a season because there's just so many and there's just not enough bodybuilders to fill out those shows. So it's like, yeah, there's some times to time it. Whereas here, like Chris said, we have 2 shows a year, we did, to go pro and compete as a pro. And because of how little that class was, there was guys who are 2-on-2 having to do open and guys who were opens having to go overseas to try and get more experience being lean. The other thing too is like the other side is the adaptation and stress of being lean and competing. We're not like, once you go pro in Australia, the way I could perceive it is you won't have the experience of being as lean as often as what the guys are that are doing 3 or 4 shows a year over in the States amongst that group that are just constantly competing to try and make prize money and get their sponsors that recognize, get, points to the Olympia. You might be in a prep phase for 3 months in Australia, do 1 show. That's all you can do. Maybe like Aaron Platts, you go to New Zealand, maybe you get invited to Ohio for the Arnold Classic and you get points to go to the Olympia. But that's a very, very rare case for Australian bodybuilders. Like the chances are that, you're probably only going to do maybe 1 season a year, if that.
Unless you're like a Josh Shanatowicz level. And also too, like the actual travel itself is
I was going to say, is that another one? Sponsorship, I guess, a lot of
well, think about it like this, right, as well. Like with, if you think about the guys that have been successful from other countries, Flex Lewis now lives in the US.
They all go to the US.
Arnold lives in the US. People will move to America for bodybuilding because it's easier to actually bodybuild there and compete there as opposed to actually living in your own country and then flying.
Well, I guess here
Marty Chupin also moved.
Well, I guess here we don't have these labels or these companies to sponsor even potential, right, to the point that they need. Like they might throw them some supplements or, a flight.
Like we've got Massive Joes, basically. They're the only ones that.
But it's like, they do great work. Don't get me wrong, but it's like they're not at the level that Revive are, for example, where they can fly their best athletes around the world and give them free supplements year round, give them a paycheck. Like these companies pay their athletes like a yearly wage. It's like
the contract isn't just some supplements and they're like repping their shit. No, these guys are paying you to win to get to the degree that it brings them attention to their brand. That's a very legal exchange of services in order to make these things happen. It's why people lose or gain sponsorship so hard in the bodybuilding world overseas. In Australia, it's like, I'll give you, you might get a reference code and like some discount subs.
You're an ambassador.
Yeah, and that's all we have the capacity to handle. Like NW didn't touch professional sports. I found it absolutely mind-boggling now that I'm on the outside and I can really talk about it because I don't give a shit, is that we had professional top 2 contenders for the world in boxing and they weren't even getting money. So it's like the even the top tier companies who are supplement ambassadors or like supplement brands don't want to touch heavy tier bodybuilding in Australia. You may get like lifestyle endorsement or like some products or branding, but that's about all you get unless you're a really top tier guy who has like a decent enough like top towards 6-figure following. You might get something a bit more than that. And
the other issue is just no one here that is that good. Like,
well, that's fair.
I mean, you've got like the proper guys that are actually top contenders in the Olympia. Like you've got Aaron Polides, Josh Lenartowicz, Lee Priest was fucking incredible, but they're few and far between. They're just, they're the genetic pool over here relative to the United States, which, what's the population of Australia versus the population of the US?
Literally the size of Florida.
Yeah, that's fair. What else we got? How to use ice baths during your workout.
Don't.
Who posted this? Fucking it'll be one of my clients or followers for sure.
Surely not.
I think so. I don't know why is that riling everyone up? It's just how to use ice baths during your workout. You don't use them during your workout.
I'm not opposed to using
don't use heat during your workout
window, but anything that's going to blunt heat is going to blunt blood flow to the muscle. You actually get blunt hypertrophy if you do it. Even post workout, I wouldn't do an ice bath, but maybe a few hours later when you cool down, sure.
Yeah, the research is pretty damn conclusive.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's conclusive. It's just it blunts MPS, and you need MPS to build muscle. So don't do it post-workout. Definitely don't do it during your workout. Don't know why.
Pre-workout.
Don't do it anywhere around your workout. And if ice baths are something you enjoy, which I mean, if that's what you're into, like cool, but you're weird. Do them on an off day, like. That, but yeah, short of that, they don't really do much. Like,
who's doing an intra-workout ice bath?
Yeah, that's why I was reading the question. I'm like, during your workout, like, why would you do an ice bath?
Just finishing up a set of
what place facilitates ice baths during workout? Like that'd just be messy. Imagine doing bench, going to the ice bath, going back to the bench, going back to the ice bath. Like, I'm confused.
I don't know why I tore my pec. It stiffened up and cooled down, so I just went and ripped some new sets, and then it cooled down again.
Yeah, I'm doing hack squats, and then I decided to go jump in the ice pit, and I decided to come back and do hack squats.
My knees are grinding, but it's sub fucking zero temperatures.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I did put up a funny one. I'm like, best New Year's resolutions that you've heard, and someone has posted a great one. Oh, hold on, where'd it go?
I just want to find me.
You know what I've seen? I've seen that many of the same post of like New Year, same me. That's it.
My kid's resolution is not to be friends with a particular girl in her class this year. I'm like, that's fantastic. I love that.
Just cutting the circle early.
It's short and sharp shit.
You've been listening.
COVID has made this young one mature as fuck.
She must follow you.
Yeah. she's a follower of Chris.
Followers.
Yeah, 100%. Like I couldn't think of anything better than that. Like that's
Cut
great.
the wheat from the shaft, baby. Yeah.
keep your friendship.
Did you two boys actually set any New Year's resolutions or no?
I've got some business
I wrote some goals down, but I wouldn't say they're New Year's resolutions. They're just goals for 2020.
Well, it's actually really funny. Someone that I know posted on his Instagram, and this would be an interesting talking topic, right? He put up what's your New Year's resolution, right? And people were putting up, all these things, and he was just sharing them, saying, "Yeah, cool, sweet, blah blah blah." And then someone had posted, "Is this a joke? These are all goals, not resolutions." And then so what he's commented was, and then asked, "Well, aren't they the same thing?"
Yes,
like a goal and a resolution.
I just wrote an article for my website about why resolutions fail and why they actually aren't achieved, and why. Fun fact: there was a company called it's an electronics company that tracks like long distance running and like endurance athletes data. There's like a community with it. You get built in amongst it, and you kind of like share your results and sort of shit. The 18th of January is what they call Quitters Day. No, 19th of January is Quitters Day, because 80+% of all resolutions that are set through their apps and their mechanisms, their tools, quit. They fail. They don't achieve them. They don't do them. They don't set them. They stop tracking the data and all sort of shit. They just give up. So basically all of the research shows that in order to get the most out of a resolution is to set it the same way you set a decent goal, and to look at that goal as a bigger picture and understand where the year fits in your overall plan, and then sort of like break it backwards, make sure it's written in a certain way, make sure it's like, structured in a way that's incrementally reviewed. So you get feedback and you get positive motivation and reaffirmation from achieving it. But essentially, it's written as if resolutions have some sort of different meaning because it's a different word, but realistically they're just goals. But generally people write them with avoidance behavior. So like, I want to quit smoking, or I want to lose X amount of weight. It's not written in an approachable mastery technique sort of manner. Like, I want to learn how to better manage my food intake or my training proficiency. I want to master my fucking headspace so I can control hunger cues and cravings. It's never written that way. It's kind of like, I want to quit smoking, or I want to quit alcohol. It's always like an avoidance behavior.
Well, it's a goal written or a resolution written versus a process.
Are you two boys willing to share one of your goals for 2022? One each.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, it's just increasing my base income inside 6 months. So, I'm at X amount of dollars, we'll say, per month. We don't need to share dollar amounts. And I'm putting on new clients. So I've decided to open up a new day for check-in. So the goal would be to put on 20 new clients by June. So probably the best way to go about it. And I think, what are we on the 5th? And I've already got 5. So 5 for 5.
Fuck yeah.
5 in 5 days. Yeah. So, if I can get another 15-ish, that'll put my income about another $8,000 a month, I think. So that'd be nice. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, mine is similar to get to a financial position where I could put on Brooklyn full time, so that I can literally just double down on everything, marketing, fucking production, business, all that shit, have that literally paid to just be flowing, and she can work on that stuff, and I can just handle the content, the creation, the coaching, and just double down on that, free up my time. So for me, it's more than like,
it's like you're buying time.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's working to get myself into a
funny concept
by time. Yeah.
Yeah. Such an interesting concept.
Yeah. Though it will like cost me some money and the business money, it will then lead to us producing far more money and be able to impact more people.
One of the biggest things I was really taught and really appreciated from actual Ben Scott and Jace when they ran their course last year. Yeah. They sort of said, if you can outsource, because when you can afford to, again, not that you can start at your very beginning of a business, it's very hard to outsource, and you will have to do a lot of the groundwork and the grunt work for yourself. And it's going to be a lot of free work, and it sucks balls, but we all have done it. We all did it. You'll do it. You'll get over it. Once you start making that little bit of money, you can actually outsource. And once you outsource, it allows you time to do what you do, which makes you more money anyway. So it's like, while paying for something, you're able to make more money doing what you do well, because you have more time to do what you do well, while the thing that you're paying for is also generating revenue, hopefully, and paying itself off, while you're then also able to make more money. So it's like, it's kind of it's an interesting concept when it comes to business, but buying time is always, it fascinates me.
Yeah. Like that's like part of the plan we have for Matter. And it's actually pretty cool. We have 4 paying members now to the membership, and like that's not a massive fee. It's only $10 a month, but we're looking at providing a sort of central hub for education information. So yes, at the moment it's just kind of me posting randomly and stuff in the Facebook group, but eventually that's going to turn to a website membership, an online membership. We want to get into the metaverse, like that. We want to get into that because it's going to happen.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of when.
To have a central place where I can interact with fans, followers, guests, whatever in person, but it's kind of meta person. All that shit is something that we're going to get down the track to doing. So for me, it was how do I get more content, even though I'm very time poor, especially when I go back to uni. There are several people around me who are very, very educated and versed in their fields, and I don't have all the time in the world to write a whole lot of articles. So I'm going to outsource to people to write ghost articles and like create talking points and I guess content for people who are paying to be part of the membership. So it then frees me up to do more stuff that I'm good at.
Yeah, it's just funny. The metaverse, I can just, not that it's going to be that, but I can just like envisage like you with VR on and just be like, those memes where people just go through a wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. They put motivational.
They put the goggles on and
they
put the goggles on and they're like fighting, but then they're like inside a 10 meter like radius, and they're just like moving. You're like, you don't move that far when you're fighting someone on the spot, and they're just like full on going everywhere. And then they punch a wall, and you're like,
actually, have you seen that? This is what actually I imagine with VR with Ben. Have you seen Black Mirror?
Nah.
Oh, I've seen bits of it.
Right. So there's this episode of Black Mirror where it's like these 2 dudes are like best mates, and they're like they start playing with like virtual reality. So it's kind of like Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah.
One of them plays as a dude, one of them plays as a chick, and they realize they can actually do other things.
Yeah.
And they eventually start so the weird thing is like they're both really into it, right? Like one of them likes playing the role of the chick, one of them likes playing the role as the dude. And then they kind of like when they get off the game, they're kind of wondering if they're gay.
Yeah.
So this wasn't the Black Mirrors. This was watching a different website.
This is not Black Mirror.
It's the Black Mirrors.
This is why Chris went to North Queensland.
So they eventually end up like kissing in real life anyway. And
Chris actually went to North Queensland for an intervention camp.
I don't need virtual reality for that,
bro. We call that Monday.
That's VR. You don't have to fight. You can do whatever you like. You can love if you like.
Should we do a couple of questions from the shame of life? It's been a while.
I have one more that kind of just ties into the goal from Melanie. She's had a quick question for us.
Shoot.
But it was just a cool one. Is there evidence that writing your goals down with a pen versus a pencil make a difference? So it was actually a really cool question, just in terms of like solidifying it and making it more emotionally connecting. It was an interesting point. I think it's a bit more like a little too nuanced for really what the big difference is, but the evidence was mostly pointing to the fact that rather than envisioning goals in your head or typing on the computer, the emotional and memory connection that you create and facilitate by writing. It uses a lot more neural connection and uses a lot more different parts, especially the prefrontal cortex, where you're actually stimulating certain neural pathways and connections in the brain and cortex of the brain to kind of solidify the goal a little bit more seriously, and you get a lot more of an emotional connection buy-in. So pen was a cool thought because like pencils can be erased and rubbed out. So it's kind of like a cool, like, if you use a pen, does it kind of solidify it even further? Logically, the research wasn't very stunning to find on it.
Did you say pen versus pencil?
Yeah.
I would say more so what would be more of an interesting thing than pen versus pencil. Because even looking at the research, just logically, I don't think it's going to matter that much as long as you're doing the act of writing it down. But the act of, if you're typing it into something versus writing
it down.
Yes. Yeah. And that was what I was getting to, is that the key difference was less about pen versus pencil. I can see the nuance to it, but more about typing. Writing versus typing. And even I then had to stop because I read all my goals. I went back and reviewed 2021, 2020 and hit all my goals and stuff, ticked everything. It was great. I'd say like 90% of what I set out, I hit. But this time I'm like, after reading a lot more of the research, there's a lot more solidifying and I guess calcifying to write out in pen or pencil versus typing. And so, if you are setting a goal, if you're listening to this, you are going to set a goal, give yourself a book, start of that book, make it your 2022 diary or journal or goal book, whatever you want to call it, and fucking write it out from top in terms of like, what is the overarching theme of your goals this year? Like, what is it? X person wants to be better or live their best life or achieve fucking stage success or financial success. And the next tier goals becomes your intermediate stage where you talk about like, okay, what are the areas in my life I need to improve to make that my like overarching theme of success? And then each one of those has subcategories we call systems, which are your subordinate goals, which become like, I will wake up at this time. I will do this health activity. I will do it. And it's just that way to structure.
You know what's funny is if I had a book and wrote it down, I would shut that book and never look at it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I know for a fact that if I had a little, like, unless it's like my actual training log, which I generally will write in like every single day that I train. If I was to write, I've done it before where I've like written down a list of goals on a sheet of paper or I've put it in a book somewhere. I guarantee that if I go to review that again in a year's time, I will have lost it. I won't even remember what those goals are.
It's got to be like, it's like the old school, put it on the fridge or whatever it is where you can see it all the time. So for me, it'd be like, literally on my desk or like on the wall that's just behind my monitor.
On the mirrors.
Yeah. I was gonna, you know what I mean? Like it has to be visible enough for you.
I think that's the key, right? It's got to be visible constantly for you. So you're constantly reminded of those goals. Yeah. So if you are going to do it, like I just put one in the notes on my phone because I know that I'll go back and reread those.
Well, weren't there statistics from studies? This isn't my field, so I got no clue. I'm sure I read something somewhere. It's like those that write goals versus those that don't achieve their goals. Like, is it like 50% out of those that write it versus those who just think about it? And then it's like,
so Lockie and Latham.
Another one.
Lockie and Latham did a study on this. It's based on what they conceptualize as goal motivation theory, and it was a 60%. I was going to say 60 plus because 60 is being very, very conservative. 60+% increase in the people who set out to achieve their goal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
versus the control group that didn't set a goal at all. Yeah. And originally that theory was based around corporate and business psychology and performance.
Okay,
analyzing that. But it then had real world application to personalized use.
Which you use that as a framework and you can always modify it to suit your client's goal or whatever it is. But that's what I thought. I was like, I know those that wrote it down versus those that didn't had a better, obviously a much better success rate at getting to achieve those goals. So even if those that don't write it down, if you have goals, also you're probably not going to remember them in 6 months. You're going to be like, oh yeah, it was something like that, but it's not exact. Whereas if you write it down,
somewhere.
It's like put them somewhere that you're going to see them. So easiest way, put them on when you're sitting down in the toilet, put it on the wall, on the door.
Write them out on your hand and then slap them on the wall.
Yeah, you go to the toilet. You go to the toilet every day.
Not with the shit. Just smearing feces on the wall.
That's just what Ben does.
Yeah, that's a Queensland
Ben writes.
We ran out of pens up here, right?
Ran out of rat tests and pens.
All right, shame of life.
All right, let's do it. Let's do 10 minutes because it's getting to like 6 o'clock and I'm hungry. So if you could train your anus to say one thing, what would it be?
Boop.
You don't need to train. Yeah, I was going to say you don't need to train. You don't need to train it to say that.
I just think it'd be funny.
I was going to train it. Just Obi-Wan. Hello there.
Pully want a cracker?
Hey, I'm fucking walking here. Get the fuck out of here. You're from Jersey.
Something cool like shaken or stirred.
Yeah.
If you're not first, you're last.
Mish Money Pusher.
I just said that every time you got like erect as well.
The strangest thing to say whilst in floods of tears.
Mm.
So someone bawling their eyes out, strangest thing to say to them. Are you horny? I was going to say, are you horny?
Mine was more of a statement.
Did your dad touch you too?
Ben's gonna get all these messages now.
Are you
From the same
okay?
people.
Are you projecting your insecurities that your father has passed?
Or call me daddy.
I feel like that's normal these days.
You would have told me to spit on it.
It's way too normalized.
A ludicrous phrase to say when you climax.
Shiver me timbers.
To infinity and beyond.
Wait, are we saying about Ludacris the rapper?
No,
Or
just
Ludacris
no,
the
Ludicrous.
Just like outrage.
I was like,
Bitch,
you guys are
get out the
"Move,
way."
bitch, get out the way. I'm trying to get out the way.
Too fast. Too furious.
Too fast for y'all.
But yeah, no, what do you got? I got to infinity and beyond.
Well, if you ain't first, you're last.
Fair?
I'm still sticking with Shiver me timbers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I feel like Ben's one's not ludicrous. It's kind of like, yeah, it's fair. Nah.
Ben's is fair.
That's normal.
It's not outrageous.
That's a shit question. What is the grossest thing you did as a child?
The grossest thing?
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember back that far.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say the grossest thing probably like pick my nose or pick my ass or something. I don't know. What do kids do? I can't think of it. The grossest thing.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember back that far, to be honest. I don't know.
And I remember eating a worm.
I've eaten cow's nuts. It's not that gross, though.
100% thought you were going to say cow shit then. I was just like,
Yeah, that would have won.
Probably that too. To
Yeah,
be perfectly honest. I would have eaten cow shit back in the day. My family used to own a station, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Next.
Yeah. No. I can't think of that far.
Let's go next. That's too far back. Next.
Oh, we've had that question. What do we got here? A bold choice of babysitter. Ben.
Babysitter. Michael Jackson.
Ooh, controversial. I like it.
Bill Cosby.
Ooh, he's
Jeffrey
up.
Epstein.
I was going to say. That's my one. It's literally what I was about to say. We started well, we got better, and then we finished with the king.
I don't know if we want to touch it. I don't know if we want to touch it, but did you fucking hear about it?
Which one?
Which part?
Case.
Oh,
Yeah,
the whole thing? Yeah. How could you
The whole
not?
thing, like, there was
It's
something
been
like,
all over everywhere.
it's been like 50 fucking senators and state politicians and fucking, what else they call them? Congressmen and shit, like, that are a part of this thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't know it was that widespread.
No, dude, it's fucking
Yeah,
wild.
it's gone nuts. It's gone
Like, he had a fail-safe ready to go if he got offed, and it came out.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
yeah, it's been pretty brutal. It's going to be interesting to see what
He
actually
kept
happens.
quiet pretty well.
Man, I'm happy it's come out finally.
The other theory is the wife or whatever, when they're like, oh, she's now under suicide watch, and people are like, they're saying
she's
that
dead. She's definitely
people
dead.
are like, yes, suicide watch.
Yeah.
Watch her die in the next 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's due for some sort of testimonial, like she's going to
Yeah.
come out. Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah. A bar theme that will never take off.
Alcohol free.
Yeah, alcohol free for sure. That's fucking great.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a bit conventional. What's a bar theme that would never?
Well, you
take
didn't
off?
say it couldn't be conventional.
Yeah, I'm not making the rules. I'm just reading what's on the card.
What
but I
have
mean,
you got? What have you got that's better than
I
that?
don't know. It's
How
good.
do we-
I'm saying it's good, but I feel like it's so good. I feel like it's
Oh,
easy.
Fuad playing devil's advocate again.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
feel like
Fuad. Well, what
I
have
feel
you
like
got,
I feel
Fuad?
like that's easy.
What have you got?
What do we got? Jeffrey Epstein themed bar.
I'd go to that though. I would go to that.
I would-
But it wouldn't
I
take
actually-
off. You're just crazy and decrepit. There's a difference.
But there's a lot of people like it.
So,
and all the rooms are different rooms from the island.
Like me, I'll be there as well.
Yeah, but we have problems. That's why we have a podcast.
That's fair.
Okay, this will be interesting. It's finally happened. Zombie apocalypse. Who in this game, being us three, is first to die?
Oh.
I'm going with Chris because he's a sweetheart.
Well, I would know. I've killed a lot of things.
I've killed righto.
Killed hearts.
I've killed a lot of
Oh,
things
lady killer.
back in the day.
Showstopper.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy.
This comes out as Ric Flair.
No, I am a bit of a sweetheart. So I think it probably
You
would
got me.
I would struggle to kill things.
Well, I guess
I think I would have too much fun doing it. It's just like letting out all my repressed childhood emotions. It's just like, you get hammered.
Maybe Ben would be overconfident though. You know, I think he may go out a little bit guns blazing, and then he may just get from behind, or they may gang up on him.
Just a sneaky one.
Nah, yeah, I'm not going out looking for it. I'm making every smart choice to get as far away from population as possible.
No, he's thought about it. I've thought about it.
I have never thought about it.
Everyone talks about like they would go to like grocery stores, or like they'd go to like a gun range first.
Yeah, but that's where everyone's going to be.
You let everyone kill each other off first. You let like the rampaging happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to somewhere like a Bunnings or a fucking IGA, bolting that shit down, staying hunking in there for a little while.
He's going to go to Bunnings for the snags.
Yeah,
See, I think I would much rather go go bush or something. So I'd much rather go to if we're right here, I would much rather go to like country Victoria or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a better option than anywhere like a Bunnings. I feel like it's going to be where everyone's going to go, and you may be more likely to get killed by another human being.
Yeah. I'd go to like the old boy's old shed, pick up some things that are at least sharp or heavy, and then head further inland over the mountains.
Yeah, see, I feel like I'd almost go to the coast, but that's just me. I wouldn't go
a boat. And
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go inland. I'd go coast. I'd go by the water somewhere. Just follow that along, because usually, like, if you follow them along, it can lead to fresh water somewhere. If you go inland,
there's going to be rivers going into somewhere.
But you have to know where to go to find the rivers. If you go inland, if you follow the coast, you can follow the actual trail out.
I just would never hunker down. Every movie you watch, every time you.
You keep moving.
Someone they hunker down to make a settlement, and they
You got to be nomadic, bro.
Yeah.
You got to move.
Yeah. You got to be on.
Keep going, move with the seasons, find fucking food, then move on.
That's fair. Anyway, I'm going to leave the questions there. It is now after 6:00. We've been ramping on for an hour and a half as usual.
Oh, beautiful.
First episode back.
I think it was a cracker. I think it was good.
It was good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Set those
Merry
fucking
Christmas.
goals. Smash them.
Yes, not resolutions, goals. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully you got the distinction between the two. And do we have anything going on? I know Chris has done zero work as usual on his course. That hasn't
This
changed.
has actually been fantastic. I've done nothing over the last 2 weeks other than just train, eat, sleep, and bodybuild. It's been fantastic.
And
I can live in the dream.
Living the dream. Anything coming out? Anything we need to know about?
Yeah, I've got my one-off consultations at half price till the end of January. So
Nice.
There's just
Now $150 instead of $300. Got it?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I doubled the price and halved it.
Yeah.
So we're back at square one, but you don't need to know about that.
So people don't need to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sales tactics.
Yes, nailed it, right? Market 101, baby.
Exactly. Increase the price before you put them on special.
Exactly. But yeah, so those are going until the end of January. And it's not just for like goal setting or anything. If you want to do goal setting, if you want to like figure out, find a purpose to the year, fantastic. If you want to talk about your programming, nutrition, if you want to talk about your psychology, Chrissy, actually one of your clients is hopping on for a chat. Want to work on some other stuff around his head as well. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Who's that?
Nice.
Jacob.
Or is that confidential?
No. It's just
Jacob. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He said he just wants to have that part of his game down pat, obviously in line with your coaching and shit like that. So I was like, fucking sweet. I just said bring all the information.
Loves the podcast, actually. Give him a shout out to Jacob.
Well, there you go. Shout out Jacob.
Shout out Jacob.
He's, well, hopefully it wasn't confidential, but yeah, he's prepping and he wants to make sure that he's on top of shit. So I was like, cool, let's do it. But yeah, so if there's anything around that you want to talk about, obviously I'm not going to contradict anyone's coaching or any coaches. It's just more like
you take the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to stay. He's going to stay.
Is your area.
He's going to stay inside of his scope of practice because he's already been told off, and he's not allowed to say things on certain websites. No,
even ones that you own.
Yeah.
This is my domain. Well, it's not.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, fuck off, dickhead.
But yeah, still taking clients. Had a very busy week. That actually has been good. So yeah.
Very good. I've only got my mentorship's kicked off. So if you are a coach, it's more targeted coaches wanting to get better at coaching, whether it be programming, training, anatomy, physiology, biology, biochemistry. What else?
Just making things up now.
Biomechanics.
These sound all fake.
I've got them all written on the board here.
anything that ethology, he's made up. He's made up.
PEDs, nutrition, usual shit. If you want to get better at coaching, let me know. I do have 12 week, 3 month, and 6 month options. If you want to jump on, do some one-on-one mentoring. What else? I do have also a day opening up for coaching spots. So if you do want to be coached by moi, let me know, and we can get into that as well. That's about it from me. Nothing going on. Pretty boring.
All the riveting stuff.
All riveting stuff. Well, as always, thank you to the listeners for tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a good Christmas.
Follow our Instagram.
True.
Like and subscribe.
And subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Yeah, there you go. I knew someone forgot something. Fuck it. I can't do it all, mate.
And did we mention the Instagram page? We'll mention that again.
So we've got the Instagram page, bros_with_brains. Jump on, follow. We will put a post up on there at some point in time. We'll probably
2023.
James is probably going to do it for us, but whatever.
We'll get our media guy onto that. We'll get our media guy James onto it.
We'll get our unofficial media dude onto it. YouTube, follow, like, subscribe, as always. It's just on the Elite Strength channel. Sorry about that. Can't help it. Whatever.
Yeah.
You'll get over it.
Fucking Fuad.
Yeah.
Fucking Fuad.
Hey, man, he's got one channel with all the shows. Shut the fuck up.
He does. That's correct.
When are you going to start sponsoring us? Fuad sponsors everyone.
Yeah. Fuad pays his fucking listeners, his guests.
Pays his guests. He contracts them
show
because they support him. So if you support me, I'll support you. That's how this works. Yeah, it's not enough.
That's costly. That costs money.
That forces me to go see my psych. No, I'm kidding. So please jump on the YouTubes, like and subscribe as always, comments, and we'll hopefully be putting more content on there, some training stuff and whatnot. We'll get that channel, I think, up and about. It'll be fun.
Should we get some videos done for when I come down?
We are going to do
next week.
We are going to do that. It's not if. We shall be. And I think we're going to try and put myself and Chris's training. If you have someone up there that can record your training, we'll get you, or we'll employ someone to do your videoing and shit, and we'll put it on the channel. That'd be some fun.
Yeah, sweet. Sounds good.
I reckon it would be a good year to go. There'll be some of the goals that we have as a collective between us. It would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys didn't have the goals. I had the goals for us, so that's fine. Same. You didn't have a choice.
That's job.
You're just gonna smile and nod. just smile and wave.
Smile and wave.
Literally.
Smile and wave.
As always, to the listeners, thank you for tuning in, and we will speak to you again next week. Au revoir.
Ciao.
Peace.